back again, and we're hopefully going to finish our garden here today. It's a little cooler this morning. This section is almost done. I'm using the hula hoe to get just any little weeds that are in here before I add the rest of the mulch in this area so that we're all cleaned up this way. Now we'll go over here and clean things up. We're going to add mulch to this area. And one of the reasons, it makes it look better, but it'll keep the weeds down and it will keep the moisture. I have this small rake, and this is a really good rake for getting in between tight places, in between where we have just a narrow area plants, where a large standard size rake would be too wide. We're gonna get this mulch in underneath some of these plants because these little weeds, they sneak in underneath. This side is pretty well done. Now we're just going to clean up along here. All right, now we come to this area, and when I have plants that aren't performing too well, then I take them out and replace them with something else. Right along here are some thymes, and they're not looking good. So we're gonna pull these all out in here, and then I'll add the marigolds because we have a 6-pack left. And you see we'll have the marigolds along here, so we'll have a continuation of that color, the yellow marigolds over there, and we'll just drift it this way. And that makes a better emphasis in the garden, and when you have more massed color together, it's more attractive, makes a statement. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll pull these out. They come out pretty well. Now these are 2 of the thymes that I pulled out. We could cut them back and get some more growth, but do you see how woody they are? They're just not attractive, and they may regrow better with fertilizer, but it doesn't look like it because this one is totally dead in the middle. So they're better just to get rid of and replace them. And to tell you the truth, the thymes, I've not had good luck for years over seasoning them from one season to the other. They don't seem, for me, some of the varieties just don't do well, so I pull them out. Got to do some housekeeping over here on this side. We're going to add more soil amendment to this area, and then I've talked about division, but I haven't showed you. So we're going to dig up the society garlic, and we'll divide it into about 3 pieces. So we'll put one back here, we'll put one here, and we'll put one over here. Now remember, see, it's pretty good size. So what we need to remember when we're planting things is to allow for their eventual size and not crowd them in too close, and then when they reach their regular size, then everything is too crowded. I'm gonna dig the holes first. Ideally, we would want to divide plants in the spring, not in the middle of summer. However, society garlic is tough, so we can divide it today and we won't have to worry. All right, now we're gonna dig this up. It's looking pretty healthy. It's okay to step in this ground cover. It won't hurt. This is coming out really easily because the soil is so moist. There, we got it out. Now, I prefer to put them upside down or on their side when I cut them apart. Then it doesn't disturb the foliage as much. So I'm just going to come in here with a shovel. Like I said, you can't hurt society garlic. We'll take this one. There we go. We've got 3 sections. We slice down there, they have bulbs. Not gonna hurt it. So we'll put this one back in the original hole. In order to save money sometimes when you go to the nursery, I would look for plants that were pretty crowded, and then I could take them home and divide it into thirds. So I'd get 3 plants for the price of 1. Okay, now we're gonna firm it down. There we go. You can hardly tell that we've disturbed one. Now this one's gonna go over there. This one is right here. Probably one of the most forgiving plants to divide would be society garlic. See there? Looks like it just came out of a 2-gallon pot at the nursery. So we're firming the soil down around to hold it in. There. Now, there we have this nicely filled in, and the eye will just flow through here now, instead of a big plain spot right there. It's really important to water in the plants we just planted, because it's going to be 100 today, or not already. So we're watering these in lightly. And then I will come back this afternoon. I have to go to town today. And then when I get back, I'll come and water these plants again.
Oh, wow, this is beautiful, Barbara.
Thank you, Sister Danielle.
Oh, yeah.
We've been working on this for a couple of days.
Oh, my, yeah, it's everything. It looks so fresh and healthy. This is great. Well, listen, I'm on my way to the post office. I'll be back, but listen, sometime could you check out all the new...
The labyrinth?
Yeah, all the new plants and that around the labyrinth.
Sure. We can do that for our next session. You and I can do the labyrinth.
Yeah, that would be great.
You can talk about the labyrinth in the meeting, and I'll talk about the plants. Okay, perfect.
What a deal. That sounds great. All right, very good. Yeah.
Bye. All right. One last thing. I've got the rosemary that we just harvested, and it's nice and fresh. But I'm looking at the mulch. Mulch just finishes off everything. It's like the frame around a picture. And here's a tip too. If you have company coming and your garden needs to be spiffied up quickly, you can throw a lot of mulch out and it will hide a lot of things and it will look beautiful. So that's always the finishing touch though, is the mulch. It just finishes everything off. If you look at the beginning when we started and then the finish, you'll see the difference. And part of that is due to the mulch. And you can always come in and replenish your mulch too. They even have a dye that you can spray on mulch so it keeps that nice color. Never used it. Goodbye.
Wait, don't go, there's more.
Julia.
Yes, Barbara.
Have you finished editing last week's video?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, I had a thought.
Uh-huh.
How about if we go out and check on the herb garden that we planted last week and see how things are doing?
Oh, that sounds good.
And then we could also look at the full-grown boxwood that's out there.
Okay.
And then we can show that. We can show a full-grown boxwood as opposed to the young ones that we have around the labyrinth surrounding it.
Do you think you should put on the same clothes you were wearing so that no one knows it's a whole week later?
No, Julia. I'll put on my apron. Let's go. There's nothing I like better than to go out to the gardens. And I like it much better than a coffee break. But no, I love Julia, let's go. Get a move on. All right, today we're going to check on the herb garden we planted last week. We're going to see how everything is doing. The basil's all doing well. The marigolds look okay, but I can tell that the snails got on some of them. But I see our lettuce leaf basil. Well, Yesuko, hi.
Hi, Barbara.
Did you come out from the kitchen?
Yes, I'm gonna pick a basil today
Okay.
and a few lemongrass.
All right. And Yesuko, I don't think you were here last week. We have a new basil. It's called lettuce leaf basil. Look how big it is.
Wow, that's gigantic.
Why don't you even cut some tips off of that one and try
Okay,
it? Because
okay.
it looks like it's starting to flower, and we don't want them to flower. Then
What's the flavor is like?
what's the flavor? Try it. It smells like basil. What do you think?
It does.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why don't you take the other tip there too, because it looks like it's just going to start flowering. That one, yes.
Yeah, it's mild flavor.
Is it mild?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to use the basil for?
Italian dish like
Oh.
Tuscan chicken or something.
Oh, Tuscan chicken. That's my favorite that you make. What about lemongrass? Are you going to use some of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
pick lemongrass this time.
And how do you pick the lemongrass?
I would use it for like a Thai recipes.
Uh-huh.
You know, like you can make a curry or
Oh.
curry is good. Thai
Curry,
curry, vegetarian, or you have to cut it like way.
Way down there to get the green
Yeah.
stems? Leaves? Okay.
Actually, is the bottom area is the best one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Use
So
all
this
of
part here is like really good for like herbs to the calm your nerve down.
Uh-huh.
But this part is the one to use it for the cooking.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then when it's like a loose part, which is a little bit harder to
Yeah,
get
it's
it out.
tough. This lemongrass, sometimes you can cut it down in the early spring. We didn't do that this year, so now we have all the old growth around the
Yeah.
outside edge. Sometimes Yesuko comes out here and prunes it, don't you, Yesuko?
Sometimes.
Didn't you do that once?
Yeah. I actually, you gave me a little branch and then took it home and then planted it in the
In your
house.
garden, yes.
It worked very well.
Now you've got to promise me that you'll come out here often and use these herbs, because that's why they're here, for the kitchen.
I know.
But don't cut them too low.
Okay.
I'm glad that you're using them.
No, it's really, really great to have a fresh herbs.
And then we've got
Yeah.
the rosemary here too.
Rosemary we use all the time. Times we use oftentimes for the beef and you know, it's good. We have oregano.
Yes,
It uses
oregano.
it. Yeah, so
And chives, we cut those back.
chives
but-
we use it often for like a potato dish and
Uh-huh.
stuff. So thanks to Barbara,
So,
we have fresh herbs.
yes, we like to.
All right, keep good work.
You too, you keep up the good cooking.
Thank you.
We just finished filming the labyrinth with newly planted boxwoods. Well, I wanted you to see a full-grown boxwood. This hedge has been here for a long time. It provides a nice cover for the herb garden, and you can see how nice and green it is, and see that small foliage, and it's all the way down. If you prune it correctly, you wouldn't want to prune it at an angle so it goes further out at the top, because then that would shade the bottom and then the growth would be poor down there. So you want to make sure you have it either flat or shape it up a little bit so you get more sun at the base. You want to have your leaves all the way down. Stay tuned for next week, where you will see the newly planted baby boxwoods that are just about so tall. They could get this tall, but we're going to keep them about 2 feet. So stay tuned for next week for the labyrinth. See you then.